All right, Jake, you put it out on social media, but for the people who didn't see it, why don't you go ahead and share your sentiments here on your final day, your final hour producing DJ and PK and working at the Zone after how many years? 11?
So I've been with the Zone in a full-time capacity for 14 years.
14.
I've been with you guys from, let's see. So funny enough, we went back through the archives. Mm-hmm. Cinco de Mayo, 2014 was my very first show with you guys.
Oh, okay.
So we're just over 12 years in with you guys. I did about 2 years before that with Ben Criddle and that Cougar Sports 960 show that we built. Mm-hmm. It's now over with Broadway Media. But so I have made a decision to make a pivot. I'm stepping away from full-time radio. I will still pop up from time to time on the Zone. I'll be helping out with you and RSL broadcast DJ. I've already been told that if they need people to fill in, I'm going to come in and do some stuff like that. But I am going to be focusing on digital media. I've got a podcast I've done for 8 years almost now with the Locked On Podcast Network and David Locke, who we just had on. I've hosted the BYU version of it, and that's going to – so I call it – the side hustle becomes the main hustle. I'm going to focus on that and some other digital media projects and see what else comes. So looking forward to it. It's a big change. It's kind of unnerving in a way because I've been with you guys. It's been kind of my safe space to know I'd had this every single day, but it's going to be fun. So, bittersweet day, no doubt.
Well, good luck with that. The media is changing fast, so you might be doing it at precisely the right time. I mean, nobody really knows the future. We can get all Pablo Mastroianni back on here and get all philosophical about it. Sure. We know what Pablo would say, and he's probably right. So if that's the feeling and you feel like you got to roll the dice and make this move and, not hold on to the safety net forever, I totally get it.
I got a text from somebody you guys know, and I'm not going to say their name because I didn't authorize me to say their name on air, but they texted me yesterday and said, "What are you doing?" It was all capitals with like an exclamation point at the end, question mark. And I said, you know what? I'm trying something different. So go ahead, PK.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that because, people ask me, did you see us coming? Well, I said, I'd had conversations with Jake, several of them, and, there's reasons that don't need to be explained here. But no, it was not a surprise because of our prior conversations. And there's a couple of things that come to my mind on what you're doing based on off of that text. So my father, who has been gone since 2014, I told him when I first got the gig here at the radio, which was 2002, right? And
right after the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
April?
Right. Yeah. And I had done subbing and had known DJ pretty well enough, obviously, and done a bit with Gordon and on the other shows at the other stations that don't even exist anymore. So my name had been out there. But this is really what I wanted to do. And so I call him up. I am just fired up as can be, And the first thing he says to me, "You're not quitting the newspaper, are you?" And at that time, I actually did both for 5 years. I said, no. He says, "I don't know about this radio thing, but all I know is every year of my life, that newspaper has been on my doorstep every day," meaning that's secure. So, but I had both, right? Well, then 5 years later comes, and I'm presented with an opportunity to combine salaries. And I may have inflated the newspaper salary a little bit to see if I can get more, which worked.
Hold on. So this also applies to you?
Paycheck is why I live in Utah.
Paycheck.
Who are we kidding? It applies to all of us.
I'm just kidding.
It's not why I live in Utah, but it's.
Anyways, continue. Sorry.
It's not why I live in Utah. It's the reason.
Oh, okay.
So 5 years later, I have this opportunity to go into radio and then some television stuff full time. And, the newspaper, at the time anyway, I thought, this is 2007, well, I could do this until I'm well into my 60s and then just retire, right? Because it was stable. Now it was starting to crumble a little bit. And the radio there, man, they seem like with my experience with sports radio, that it changes every second year. There's new hosts. But I thought, I can do this. And I really want to give it a shot. And I jumped in, so I quit the newspaper, which was the anchor to do this. And away we went. After even knowing, and DJ can vouch for this, knowing during that 5 year period when I was doing both, I was within minutes of being fired.
Yes, he was. That is a true story.
I have heard this story.
Yes.
They asked me what I thought, and I told them what I thought, and to my great disappointment, they completely dismissed everything I thought about 30 seconds after I left the room.
I was literally within a day or so of being fired.
Yeah, and Gordon Monson to the rescue on a big old gigantic white horse.
Right.
There's no other way to say it. He had a gravitas that everybody else, including me, lacked.
Right.
And he could knock on the door and walk into a room I couldn't walk into and say, it needs to be like this. And then they actually listened
Gordon
to him.
said this will not happen. And I owe a lot to Gordon Monson. And I've told him, and everybody who knows me knows that. And here it is in the public. I don't know if I've ever brought this up, but that's a fact. Yeah. But yet I still, a couple years later, decided to do it. And so it's like this is an unknown. I was stepping into an unknown, giving up the anchor, and obviously it's worked out for me, so I don't see any reason why it won't work out for you. That's the point.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, and I can tell you the conversations I've had with you, with my own parents, the initial reaction is like, hold on, like, are you sure? Like, I'm like, yeah, I want to give this a go, and trust me, people ask all the time, this is the number. Okay, when I go out and people find out what I do, and I hang out with you two every morning, you know what the first question I get more often than not is?
Is he or isn't he?
No.
What's PK like?
Yes. It's like it's either how do you put up with those two, or what is PK really like? And it has been. I know I make you feel old when I say this.
Yeah, boy.
I grew up listening to you in high school. Like I would have it on my clock radio. It would turn on to you guys in your very earliest days, and that's what I would wake up to in the morning. I always wanted to try something like this in sports radio. I've been lucky enough to do it for 14 years, but digital media is changing, and it's changing fast. It's becoming like
totally agree.
The anchor of all media, let's be real, and I'm going to dive headlong into it and try some new things.
I would tell you that the first thing you try may not be the thing that works. And there will be a long line of people who will tell you, well, you screwed up. And the truth is, and you can read, I've been fascinated. I don't do it so much anymore. But for a long time, I was hooked on reading biographies of famous people. Like the first thing, like Thomas Edison didn't get the first thing right. So there may be bumps in the road. You may be looking around going, what did I do? This isn't working. Digital media consumption is taking off. How to monetize that has been a real struggle. Well, and I was just having a discussion last night. Like, you can't give up on the old school TV, radio, even newspapers who've taken a bigger hit than the others. Everybody's taken a hit to a degree. There's still money in all of those. Don't walk away from that, right? But in your case, maybe, you need to and see how it plays out.
Okay, and that's where the David Locke thing comes in. David built Locked On. It's celebrating 10 years right now of the Locked On Podcast Network, the college arm of which I am part of. I'm what they call one of our day oneers on that, where I was around from the very get-go. It's almost 8 years in the making. And to David's credit, he saw this wave of digital media, and he has been very smart about monetizing it. That is what is allowing me, honestly, to give this a shot, is that I have the side hustle that I've been doing alongside what I've done here in radio. It's going to allow me to try some new things. Because to your point, DJ, I don't expect everything to fly right away. But I'm eager for an opportunity to try something new and see how it goes.
So, J-Cat stories, because we've had a lot of fun in your more than a decade here. And one of my favorite stories, and Scott Gerard will hate me telling this story. Sorry, Scott.
Well, no, but this
is such a great
This is the best story, I think, of the bunch. Because apparently there's a period he was not listening very often.
No, and I get it, because he had 3 kids at home and he had stuff going on, and he's a night owl. Yeah. I've texted with Scotty after 11 o'clock at night so many times I can't even tell you. And so him getting up early, and plus he'd done our show. He didn't need to listen to our show every minute. So anyway, we get hauled into one of the legendary meetings in an era when we had a lot of them. Now I don't even know the last time we had one. But in that era, we had them all the time. I don't know what it was. PK said or did something, whatever, and so we had to go down and talk about it. And then and I was so burned out on them, and I can't remember half the stuff anyway. Well, PK, blah, 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 you remember DJ? I don't know. And then you, he did. I remember. And then that made the meeting go an extra half hour. So PK labels you Judas and calls you that on the air, which I found hilarious. And I just started calling you Judas just around the office.
And by the way, this is not like a one-time thing. This goes on for months.
Yeah. And so I'm talking to Scotty about something at the old place, and there was a room, and then there was a corner and a hallway. And you were down the hallway and around the corner in the studio.
Anybody who's in the Delta Center, up on the 5th floor, we called it the Zone Lounge. And you were on that lounge area, and our producer and studio booths are on the hallway behind it.
Scotty and I were talking, and I said, yeah, and we were planning something. I don't even know what it was. And then, well, Judas will do that. And he goes, Judas? I said, yeah, Judas. Judas? And he looks at me like, that is just wildly inappropriate, DJ. And I said, Jake. He goes, you're calling Jake Judas? And it occurs to me he hasn't heard any of this, right? And without moving, I yell around the corner, down the hall, and around the corner of the studio. And this just goes to Jake's good nature. I go, hey, Judas! And I hear back instantly, yo! And the look on Scotty's face, awesome.
It's true. Yeah,
but it does go to your good nature and how much you rolled with everything and how much fun you were to hang out with for all those years.
Well, that's the thing about this. I call it, we're playing the sandbox of life. Like, come on. We got to live, eat, and breathe sports. Like, we get to do what our jobs are, what people do with their free time. That's never gotten lost on me, that we're lucky to do what we do.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday I went with a friend, Billy, you know him, DJ.
Yep, I do.
And his father-in-law, right? And my wife. And so we're getting ready to tee off. We played 9 holes over at Bonneville yesterday afternoon. And I say, I just want to be on record as there's 3 people retired here and only 1 is still working. And then Billy says, yeah, but you got the job that I would want when I retire. You got me there, Billy.
Billy's a lawyer. He can analyze things from many angles very quickly. You playing the victim on Sports Talk Radio ain't going to fly very far with Billy.
No, he wouldn't have it. He just, what do they call that? Objection denied or whatever it is. He just swatted that away like Mark Eaton with somebody coming down the lane. So, yeah, he put that in his place. It's very true. I've said that I have a job, but I haven't worked in 2+ decades. And
nice.
Extremely grateful. And, I want to make sure that people know that we're going to miss you, but we're also going to support you. And because you're still going to be around, it's not like the relationship is going to end. You're not moving to Seattle to take another job or what have you.
I'm not going far.
Yeah, right. And so I'm still going to talk to you. I'm still going to see you. And then hopefully if you have any questions or whatever, I could advise you because I kind of look at you like a little brother type thing because we've been together for 12 years, day in and day out. I'm seeing you as darn near as close as you see the family. And I come around that corner on Monday, it's going to be freaking weird that you're not going to be there because you get in here before us, and then I usually come in and you put the rundown stuff on the desk, and you get used to a routine, and you want that routine to continue for as long as possible if you love and enjoy the routine. If you're doing something that you don't want to do or you're tired of it, that's another story, but I think I can speak for us and DJ that neither of us are tired of this routine, and every day is a kick and a privilege to be able to come around that corner. And Alex Napolis, he's going to be our 7th producer, and, look forward to working for him. But it is a bittersweet day because you have decided this. The good thing, as I say, is you'll be around, but, you've been an integral part. We get the credit, the show's on our names and blah, blah, blah. But your job, in a way, certainly is very close, if not even more so, equal to what we do. And it is extremely important. It can't be done effectively without somebody in your side of the glass doing it very well. And you did it very well for over a decade.
And it isn't an easy job. It isn't a job that you can do when you show up day one. So you got to work at it. You got to get better at it. And day one for you was one thing, but 3 months down the road was different. A year down the road was different. You got good at it real quick, and you wouldn't have done it for more than a decade if you weren't really good at it. And PK's right. It's one of those deals. It's like recruiting and assistant coaches, and the head coaches get all the glory and the money. If the assistants aren't recruiting, they've all got that analogy. It's like if you don't shave, you can get away with it for a day, but pretty soon you look up and you look pretty haggard in the mirror. It's the same thing with producing. It's not like every segment rests on it, but if it doesn't get done well, you're going to look up a week, a month, a year down the road, and the show's going to look pretty haggard.
And one of the reasons I feel a level of comfort, we've been around Alex a little bit, and obviously he's done some vacation relief when you've taken off or did whatever you needed to do there, is that, and this is indicative of your character, Jake, is that you won't be officially a full-time employee. You'll be doing some freelance work for us, as you said. But I take a level of comfort knowing that as Alex progresses and the transition will be much, much smoother because you will literally only be a phone call away, even though you're not drawing a day-to-day paycheck here. And I know that probably for the first little while, Alex will be the one executing what needs to be done, but you'll be right there helping him, telling him what he needs to do, even though you're not employed, because you value the relationships, which in the end, that's what you have when life is done, is the relationships, and you value that to where you want to make sure you're going to do everything possible that Alex's transition is literally as smooth as possible, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, and that's the thing about this is I care deeply about this station because you don't spend nearly a decade and a half with it. And the funny thing about this is 16 years ago this time, I walked into this place for the very first time as a college student. I was interning for Greg Wrubell. And I had literally never done anything in radio, sports media, and Greg took a chance on me and gave me an opportunity. He and David Locke, the next 2 years, I interned for both of them, gave me a crash course and baptism by fire and just learning what to do. I got to spend 2 years with Alema Harrington and Ben Criddle, trying and learning things. And then, I've grown up with you guys. I don't know how many people know this. I think you guys know this. I met my wife for the very first time the same month I moved over to working with you guys. She literally to this day, today, Monday, when I wake up, will be the very first time she's ever known me to not have this job, waking up at 4 a.m., coming in, doing what we do here on the morning show. I've had all three of my kids during the time that we've been rolling on this show. I have grown up in more ways than one on this, and I'll be forever grateful. And I'm just going to do this right now. I want to give a shout out to Megan, Danny, Colton, and Landon, my family. They put up with Dad being gone a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's fun.
And setting the alarm for a different time is one of the benefits of what you're about to change here.
That's true.
You've done it for a long, long time. I mean, basically that's half our show, and then the other five are the other five producers, the other half of our show. Yeah.
So it's been a privilege. It's been an honor. I've had the time of my life. I was down at BYU practice earlier this week, and you guys are in that student athlete building. You know how the hosts that they have there, the older gentlemen. One of them found out who I was, and he's like, I've been listening to that show since they started back in 2002. Like he talking about day one, and he could. I'm talking reciting chapter and verse on different things that's happened during the show's history. But as he said, you've been with that show for half of its existence.
The longest running producer. Yeah.
But he was. We need to go. When we get down to BYU next time, I need to introduce you to this guy because it was pretty funny how well versed he was in the show's history and moments. He brought up Debbie. He's been around. Trust me. Nice. But the biggest thing he said, you three, and he's like, the three of you have made my life infinitely better every morning I've been able to tune in.
Well, that is nice to hear. Thank him for it. So we'll thank him when we meet him. And I think a lot of the guests are going to be asking about you because you've been the one screening the calls. Some of the guests you found, and you're the one who tracked them down. So whether it's Andy Bailey or Barry Trammell or Steve Cleveland, or what happened to Jake? Where's Jake? Off on an adventure.
Yeah, I'll be in. I'm like I said, I'm a phone call away if they want to reach out. But I'm sure that Alex, he's in good hands. He has been. I've been a part of it, but he's been trained up well, and he's ready to rock and roll.
I texted one of our guests that we've had over the years. You guys can figure it out. I don't want to name him. But I told him, I said, hey, going forward, and I said, it'll be Alex, a guy named Alex who will be hitting you up. And then he said, okay, man, I really hope Jake is going on to something new and exciting. And we texted back and forth. It's like, okay, I don't think you've ever met this person in person.
Not in person, but he did text me after you had this conversation. Yes.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, yes. He is a nameless, faceless individual that is but he's also a critical element in this show as well.
Right, yeah. Somebody you've never met face-to-face, but has a relationship with you.
He's a really good dude. Let me just say that.
Now I think I figured it out. Okay. All right. Well, why don't you get ready and hit the button for the last time? Jake's actually going to step away from the board here because there's a little going away party for him for the next hour, starting at 9:30. So Scott and Tim and Lloyd can hang out with him here for a little while as well. Thanks again, Jake. We appreciate it, and good luck going forward. And it may not be a straight line going forward, but don't worry about it. Life rarely is. You just got to keep going on down the road, and you will figure it out.
It's going to be a party, and like I said, I won't be going far. I'll be checking in, I'm sure, from time to time with you guys. Mrs. K has already texted me this morning, PK, and is already trying to set a tea time. So
there you go.
So she's all over it. So thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. It's been the thrill of a lifetime.